Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Dan, and we are back with the VBA. We are going into the playoffs this week, and I will be commentating our match between Lucian and the Rebellion, and Audio Medic and the Flint Flareons. We are brought to you by our sponsors, Puppy in a Cone. Thank you, Franklin. That'll be all for today. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and hop right on into it. So, we can see that Lucian is bringing the fire, which is great because I am complimented by a frosty beer today. These sets, just looking at what we see, Lucian has the Dragon Knight with the Yachi Berry, the Arcanine with the Choice Scarf, a Silk Scarf, Kangaskhan, Focus Sash, Whimsicott, Life Orb, Blastoise, Violite, Togepi. Interesting choice that the Togepi is a Violite. We'll see if it's able to survive any hits today. On the Flareon side, we see the Mr. Rhyme, Scrafty, Rhydon, an interesting choice, Whimsicott, Dracovish, the runner-up in the kill leader race, and a Rotom Deep. So we do see that Lucian is looking to lead the Dragonite and the Kangaskhan. One second, I'm going to turn this music down just a little bit. Given that it's Silk Scarf, I expect this to be a fake-out Last Resort set. Blastoise with Life Orb in the back, probably not a Water Spout variant then, but it will likely have Scald, maybe Dragon Pulse would be an interesting move on it to try and hit that Dracovish. I'm not really sure what other moves it'll carry. Maybe an Ice-type move, but let's go ahead and hop into the battle. We see two stellar-looking trainer cards today. 1 second. Nothing like a good battle and a good beer. And we do see the Mr. Rhyme and the Whimsicott coming out for the Flareons, while Lucian leads with the Dragonite and the Kangaskhan. The play here seems pretty straightforward, as long as this Kangaskhan is going to be faster than the Whimsicott. You definitely want to be faking that Whimsicott out. Or, this is actually an interesting play. So he'll allow Tailwind to go up, but try to get the KO on the Whimsicott, and just try to beat whatever is in the back, even though it'll have the speed advantage. So let's see how this works out for him. The dual Wing Beat comes on out into the Whimsicott. It will pick up that KO, even through a Focus Sash, because, obviously, dual Wing Beat hits multiple times. Very interesting tech by Lucian, but I am a big fan of it. But he does allow Tailwind to go up, and his team is pretty middling in speed. I would not expect him to outspeed anything on this team, not even the Rhydon. Although if this is a minimum speed Rhydon, there's a chance it does, but given that he set Tailwind with Rhydon in the back, I expect this to be a fast enough Rhydon that he is going to be struggling to keep that Dragonite in, even if it does have multi-scale. We did also see that Kangaskhan set is, in fact, that fake-out Last Resort set. And now he's just going to start launching some Last Resorts. And this thing's going to just begin the process of acquiring some KOs. But we'll get a chance to test out some speed tiers here. Freeze Dry obviously protects against. The Last Resort will come out, and I guarantee you this picks up this Mr. Rhyme. Kangaskhan with Silk Scarf just hits so very hard. But we do see some damage coming out into the Kangaskhan through that body press. Very interesting tech with a Violite that'll actually do some significant damage. And now we see the big hitter rolling on out. This Dracovish with Vicious Rend under Tailwind is going to be a massive threat for Lucian to be dealing with. Dragon Claw, if it is able to survive to take out this Dracovish, will actually come close to the KO. I don't actually know if it does pick up the KO, but a double up will do it, and then leaving a Rhydon in a 1-on-4 or a 1-on-3 situation isn't going to be great. But if there's a double up into the Rhydon this turn with a Vicious Rend, for example, if it's banded, and a Rock Slide, that could theoretically take out this Dragonite. A Rock, so it's going to be double Rock Slide. The first one will break multi-scale, and the second one will be Stab from a surprisingly high base attack out of a Rhydon. But man, does that hurt. Does that all hurt so much. And Rhydon's not going to be able to pull this one out at this point. I could say that pretty confidently, but we'll see what he does. Oh, it avoids the attack. What an absolute travesty. But Rhydon will pick up 1 KO here. However, Rhydon being slower than this Dragonite does not leave me feeling good about its prospects, because there is this Blastoise that we do see as Fake Out, Scald, Dragon Pulse, and Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is interesting tech, but the Scald is just going to be able to, if it not pick up the KO, come very close, and Dragonite will be able to clean. So this was a pretty commanding game from Lucian. He surrendered the Tailwind, but the Flareons didn't really have the Pokemon lined up into Lucian's team to take advantage of that Tailwind. So overall, very, very solid game out of the Kanto division. We would expect nothing less, isn't that right, folks? So Scald's going to come out onto this Rhydon, and it's likely going to pick up the KO after a little bit of chip from Dragon Claw here. Rhydon is, of course, incredibly bulky, and it will get a Rock Slide off before the Scald will come out, and it will take out that Dragonite, but this Scald should just clean up the game at this point. And it does. So Lucian will be taking a 1-0 lead in this set. He is 1 game away from entering into the money rounds. Solid game from Lucian. I expect a very similar plan moving forward, but we will see what adjustments will be made. Taking the lead card, respect. I absolutely love it. So as we are going in with the Team Rebellion, I expect that there will be some significant changes on the Flareon's part. Whimsicott just going down the Dragonite without something like that Rotom in the back. Just the Dracovish isn't going to be able to break through that Dragonite. The Dragonite is going to be the biggest problem, so he's going to have to find a way to deal with it successfully. I would expect that Scrafty would come this set. 1, to intimidate the Dragonite, 2, fake out pressure for the Kangaskhan, and it will hit the Kangaskhan with a stab fighting move as well. Lucian is actually looking like he's going to change it up to match Tailwind with a Whimsicott of his own. Almost guarantee get it up because he's got the fake out Kangaskhan. That'll be faster than anything that has fake out on the Flareon side. It seems like a very solid play all around. The only way Tailwind gets denied is a Scrafty Mr. Rhyme lead in this case. The Flareons are taking some time to lock themselves in. They are in a bit of a hole here, and it seems like they know it. They are struggling for a plan, but there are a couple different pathways they can take to come forward. I don't have their sets like I'm looking at Lucian's right now, but I imagine besides that Life Orb, Dracovish, that Rotom is also going to be a pretty offensive build with the way this team is put together. But I guess we can just go ahead and dive into it to find out for sure. So we see him leading with the Mr. Rhyme and the Rotom. Okay, so we have already changed it up just a little bit. And we have the Fake Out lead again. He obviously needs to use Fake Out before Last Resort. Faking out the Rotom makes sense, but the Mr. Rhyme can't always fake out the Whimsicott in that situation. So this is probably more correct. This will guarantee that this Tailwind goes up, and then he'll just have to figure out how to deal with whatever it is this Mr. Rhyme is going to be doing. I would imagine either a Nasty Plot or a Thunderbolt, and the Kangaskhan comes out right here. Here comes the Nasty Plot, yep. Now, I don't know the calcs here, but Last Resort Kangaskhan into this Rotom Heat can't be good for the Rotom Heat. Like, that just seems like it could be a pretty devastating amount of damage that's going to come out. And Tickle. Tickle is the move of choice here. Oh, what a fantastic protect out of the Flareons. Just eats that Tickle, eats up that Last Resort, and now we get a free move out of this Mr. Rhyme. Is he going to be able to take advantage of it? He is setting the Trick Room under Tailwind. What a phenomenal play. What a phenomenal turn. The Flareon folks are back in this match. Lucian is really going to be under the gun here now because this Rotom is up to +2. It has the speed advantage, and Tickle is not going to be doing enough here. Defense falling 1 is not going to be keeping anything alive because this Rotom is about to just absolutely go in on this Kangaskhan. Look at that. Kangaskhan actually likely KOs back with -1. No! Rotom survives it like an absolute tank. Who was I to doubt this Rotom? What a fantastic play this Rotom has. What a fantastic game this Rotom is having right now. This is such a bad position for Lucian. He is under Tailwind for another turn, and Trick Room is up for 3 more turns. He's going to be at a speed disadvantage this whole game because the Dragonite in the back we already know is pretty fast. The Blastoise isn't that fast, but this is looking pretty ugly at this point for Lucian. He tries getting a defensive switch in, maybe getting off an additional Tickle, but honestly, Tickle into Mr. Rhyme, yeah, it'll make it easier to hit, but this just doesn't feel good for him at this point. And the Dragonite comes on out. Tickle comes out. Dragonite will take a neutral hit probably right here. Here's this Freeze Dry that'll finish off this Whimsicott. He will get a turn of Fake Out from this Kangaskhan. So he will be able to Fake Out this Mr. Rhyme for 1 turn of Trick Room. But off of that Thunderbolt, man. This is looking rough. This is looking rough. And we see that the Dragonite is actually inner focus and not multi-scale. So Intimidate not going to matter, but it is also not going to be taking that reduced damage. Lucian's just going to try and claw his way out of this Trick Room, just absolute lock that the Flareons have put on this game. I'm struggling to see how he does it. I think he needs to get a Fake Out into the... I don't even know. Whichever one he fakes out, the other one kills the Dragonite. So Fake Out and then Protect the next turn isn't going to work. I think a double Protect on Dragonite is the only play, and that just feels so bad. But the Rotom protects. The Rotom protects. Lucian is back in this game with the Rotom protecting here. A good double up into the other side, and with a Protect next turn, stalling that last turn of Trick Room, the Rebellion are not out of this one yet. They could come storming back here late game as soon as this ends. As soon as this Trick Room ends. Double inner focus on the field. Scrafty's Intimidate does nothing. But, folks, I don't really know. I think he needs to protect this turn, and I know that Kangaskhan doesn't have one. You gotta sack the Kangaskhan, try to preserve the Dragonite, and hope your speed advantage can carry you through the game. Let's just see how this one plays out. Oh, Drain Punch into the Kangaskhan. And then here, he has to be Thunderbolting here. Like, there's no other option, but a Nasty Plot would have been a baller move, but it also would have been mostly incorrect. So Trick Room is going to be ending. Dragonite is now the fastest thing on the field, but does it matter in the face of this Rotom? Because the Rotom has to be the target here. He has to target the Rotom. He cannot leave the Rotom alive, unless he thinks the Rotom's going to switch out. Then he can leave it alive. But he really is taking a big risk by not targeting this Rotom, because it's going to be faster than this Blastoise. A Fake Out into the Rotom. Okay, I forgot the Blastoise is carrying Fake Out. That could be the play. There's no way this should go into Scrafty. This has to go into Rotom here. Oh, I think he threw. Scrafty will flinch, but Rotom will not. Dual Wing Beetle come out. Does it pick up the KO? It doesn't look like it. Oh, and Scrafty even survives the turn. What a What a nasty set of moves coming out. And that Volt Switch just taking out the Blastoise. Now we'll have two Pokemon out that'll both be threatening this Dragonite. And man, this is looking like it could be it for Lucian in this game. And we will be going to a Game 3 because he does not have a way to break this Rhydon before the Rhydon breaks him. It will be a win for the Flareons in Game 2 unless he cannot connect on Rock Slide for nearly 3 turns, maybe 4 turns in a row. What a play. We see a full stadium out there today, folks. The pink and blue flag is flying. I don't know who they're cheering for, but what an absolute set this has been. What a treat for the first set of the playoffs this season. He switches the Scrafty for the Rotom. I'm not really sure why he does this. This is a little confusing to me. You have to double attack that turn, I think, just to guarantee some damage in case Rock Slide misses or he targets incorrectly. But he doesn't get punished for it, and we are going into a Game 3. What a set! So it will come down to this. Lucian will be the second highest seed in this first round of the playoffs. So if he is able to win here, he will be guaranteeing himself a date with either one of the Johto coaches or with me, I believe, in the next round. But if the Flareons pull off the upset here, I believe they are going to be the lowest seed in the reseed when that happens. And if I am correct about that, an upset here will lock in a match with Cortex next round. So let's see what team is going to be moving on in our first playoff match. We are going into Game 3. We are going with a Kangaskhan Blastoise lead once again. Dragonite, and then we're going to be seeing the Choice Scarf Arcanine for the first time this set. Eviolite Togepi doesn't make an appearance. I don't get to see what the Eviolite calcs are. He's hovering the lock-in button. He's reconsidering his choices. He's thinking about everything in his life that led up until this point, but he does lock it in. We are locked on the side of Rebellion for Game 3. This might be some mind games, trying to psych out that he wasn't just absolutely prepped and ready for this game. Give his opponent thought that maybe it took him a little while longer to lock in. But the Flareons, they are thinking this one through again. It paid off for them last game, but we will see if it's able to pay off for them in Game 3. I would expect this Rotom to be making a repeat appearance. I think the Mr. Rhyme lead is going to continue to look very solid. And he does get in under the wire with that lock-in. These are two new coaches to the VBA who have both had pretty successful seasons thus far. Or, I'm not sure actually if the Flareons coach is new. He may have played in Season 1. He did not play in Season 2. And we do see that Mr. Rhyme Whimsicott lead. He's going for the Tailwind himself again against Kangaskhan Blastoise. This is a redux of game number 1. Now, will the targeting be the same? Will the Mr. Rhyme get the fake out? And no, actually, it's not a redux of game number 1. Game number 1, it was the Dragonite because that took out the Whimsicott. Here, he doesn't actually have something that just cleanly takes out the Whimsicott. But a double up into Mr. Rhyme here could be devastating for the long-term prospects for the Flareon if he is able to pick up the KO with this Dark Pulse. I don't know the damage calcs on the Blastoise, and he doesn't want to go for it. He just goes for the double fake out, just get a little bit of free chip on everything, and he switches right on into the fake out. I believe this is a Trick Room play, but he's shown the willingness to fake out this Mr. Rhyme every time, and that's so much damage from this Kangaskhan. And now Kangaskhan is the fastest thing on the field, and Blastoise is threatening the Rhydon. That Rhydon switch-in may have cost the Flareons their season here. He doesn't have a clean play here. He needs to hope that this Trick Room goes up. He needs to hope that this Scald will never go off, but Last Resort will come on out and clean up this Mr. Rhyme, and this is looking really, really good for Lucian, the Rebellion, and the entire Kanto division as a whole. We are getting the Whimsicott out. And we have Whimsicott Rhydon, but this Rhydon under Tailwind does not outspeed the Blastoise. We saw that game 1. This is a horrible game situation. He needs to switch this Rhydon out. He can't let this Rhydon stay in. He needs this Whimsicott to have Trick Room, to try and get Trick Room up, and just hope that it's Focus Sash or it survives a hit. But no, he goes for just a straight Energy Ball into the Blastoise. Blastoise lives that. Last Resort comes on out. It goes into the Whimsicott. Whimsicott is in fact Sash, but we get a huge Scald coming on out into the Rhydon. And Rhydon goes down. We're now into a 2v4 situation where Whimsicott has 1 HP left. Whimsicott will always threaten a Blastoise, but this Kangaskhan is going to start eating. Rotom does not have the opportunity to set up here because the Whimsicott will need to take out the Blastoise here. Rotom will need to just launch attacks into the Kangaskhan. Maybe Rotom can get up a Nasty Plot and hope. But it is not looking good. It is not looking good at all here. Energy Ball will come in and out. He'll pick up the KO on the Blastoise. Kangaskhan will be able to get off a Last Resort. Last Resort is faster than the Rotom. This is not going to be looking good for the Flareons. We see the Rotom, and he does go for the Nasty Plot. He is going to try to get the reverse sweep off with this Rotom, but I think there is just too much firepower on the side of Rebellion for Rotom, which does not have a dual target move better than Electro Web to get these KOs. This Arcanine will come in. It can start snarling. It can even launch, probably just Snarl. Dragonite can come in. It has Waterfall. Waterfall looks huge. Dragon Claw looks like it would do substantial damage. I do not think that this Rotom is going to make it, and we are going to have our 5th member of the quarterfinals to join the 4 teams with the bye. We get a double target into the Rotom. The Last Resort comes on out with that Silk Scarf. It does about 65%. Rotom will heal itself a bit with its berry. And is this Dragon Claw going to be enough? Or is this Waterfall going to be enough? It is not. Rotom will get an attack off. Thunderbolt comes on out. I don't know if it picks up a KO though. Kangaskhan survives the Thunderbolt. These are both going to be faster than it. And he is just switching in the Arcanine for no reason except for style points and finishing with a Dragon Claw. Good games to Lucian. Welcome to the quarterfinals. Welcome to the VBA. This has been Dan. This has been the first game of the VBA playoffs. It will be Rebellion 2 games over Flint Flareons 1 game. What an absolutely phenomenal set, and I am looking forward to seeing more of these as they come out. We will see you guys next time, and from all of us here at the VBA, peace out.